Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. Today I've got guest Jac Vanek on the show. She's a successful blogger, designer, and host of Podcast One's popular new Fempire podcast. Today we're getting real and raw about dating in LA, life in the public eye, and so much more. Thanks for listening. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening to the show, and thank you for supporting our sponsors. And today's show is brought to you by The Rave by WeVibe. You know I love all the WeVibe products, but this one is brand spanking new. It's a new, powerful, and sensually sculpted G-spot vibrator. So if you've been running around in circles looking for your G-spot, then search no more. The Rave will lead you directly to the gates of G-spot glory. No joke. All the toys by WeVibe rock, and the Rave is the one. If you've been like, the G-spot is elusive, I don't know, do I have one? You will find it with the Rave. You'll enjoy a sensual, intimate experience. It's beautiful. I'm holding it right now. Asymmetrical design transforms a gentle twist of your hand into a truly intense sensation. It's curved perfectly, so it's easy to hold. It offers effortless control of your pleasure. The unique shape leads directly to your G-spot. How do they know you can't find your G-spot? Well, the Rave can find your G-spot. When you press down gently on the handle, you get just the right amount of pressure. You give it a little twist, and the soft edges stimulate the most sensitive areas. So easy to use. It's got these little controls to please your G-spot even more with the powerful rumbly vibrations that the Rave packs. It's rechargeable, body safe, splash proof, and has 10 preset vibration modes to choose from. Plus, get this, you can create your own custom vibes and get other features when you pair Rave with your smartphone. And you use the We Connect app. You can use it with your goddamn phone, people. This is gonna find your G-spot, okay? Happy 2016 and find your G-spot. Get ready to twist and shout with the Rave by WeVibe. Go to WeVibe.com or click the WeVibe banner on my site and use the promo code Emily and you get a special discount for Sex with Emily listeners. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's gotta have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, I feel so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com where you can check out all of our podcasts. We've got thousands of them, literally. Our blog posts. We update blogs every day. If you have a question about sex or relationships, we've got it on our site. Sign up for our mailing list and do all that great stuff. Also, oh my God, this weekend, I can't believe it's already here, the Sexual Health Expo, okay? This is our fourth one. We launched it a year ago, January, in Los Angeles. And it is the top sex educators in the country, people that I really respect and admire, are going to be there on hand for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, Los Angeles at the Universal Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles, in the Universal City. And so all day long there's workshops for an hour, each one, and they're like all the topics that you want to know about, like how to increase intimacy, how to have orgasms, how to talk about sex with your partner, a little BDSM, whatever you're into, whether it's like, you think it's way too kinky, or it's just like, how do I talk to my partner about touching my boobs more? How to have an open relationship. It's all there. And I will be doing a live show with Anderson, so I will see you there, and I can't wait. So it's sexualhealthexpo.com to get your tickets. Love you. See you there. Mean it. Hi, Jac. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for joining the show.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
How's it going? How's your podcast? Empire.
It's going awesome. So we launched it, I think, 5 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. New.
Yeah, very, very
Really
new.
new.
I mean, you're like the pioneer of podcasting, so I feel so excited to be here.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good time, right? Well, we're going to get into all your stuff. I want to hear all about your clothing line, your blog,
The whole thing.
stuff. But I want you also, we're just be talking about sex for a little bit here, and
We can
dating
talk about
and
a little bit of
relationships.
sex.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like you're the woman for the job.
Oh, I've got many horror stories.
Oh,
if
I
anything
love
else.
horror stories. I love it. Okay. Well, first, we're going to do a little sex in the news. This is what we do. There's stats behind sexting, and they show just how much we get freaky with our phones.
Oh,
do you ever
wait.
sext?
Oh, all the time.
Oh,
I'm
wait.
a huge fan of
Are you?
sexting.
Oh God, this is so awesome. Okay,
Yes.
well, let's read this and then we're going to talk. It says, as
Okay.
smartphones have now become the norm, sexting is more happening in all over the damn place. So who's doing it? How often are they doing it? And just what the hell are these people sending to each other? Now we have the answer to those and many other questions thanks to this brand new infographic about truth behind the titillating text messages. So here's some of the details. Okay. More than 35% of Americans admit to sexting. 95% send sexual thoughts or ideas. 38% send sexy selfies. And 36% send explicit images. 32% say they started sexting between the ages of 19 and 29. 56% of those who admit they sext say it's improved their relationships, which I actually believe.
Oh, yeah.
Of those that admit to sexting, 95% send sexual thoughts and ideas. 38%, okay, we already said this. 38%, okay, we got that. 20% show their face in the images. That's not
risky.
What, you think so? I guess with Instagram now, everyone's like,
here's the thing,
it's one big sexting universe.
Yeah, and especially if you're being kind of open with who you're sexting and it's not with like a boyfriend, and something happens, then they have all this blackmail that they can get you back with.
Exactly.
Who knows? People are crazy.
People are crazy. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like,
I don't trust anybody with that.
Yeah, me neither. I'm like, yeah, send them your boobs with your face. That's fine if you want 15,000 other people to see it. Just assume that's going to happen.
You just got to assume whatever you're sending this random person is going to end up on the internet, and your parents will probably see it somewhere.
Exactly. Your parents, maybe your cousin, your little cousin, something like that, your sister. Okay, so you sext all the time.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Are you in a relationship?
Newly, yes. Like, very newly.
Okay, like a month? Committed?
Committed, like, literally, like, a week ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Congratulations.
Very, very new.
How did you meet him?
So, I met him at... Have you ever been to the Bungalow? It's a bar in Santa Monica.
In Santa Monica. I was going to say, yeah.
I met him
at the Fairmont
Hotel,
yes. Right?
Yeah. I met him at the Bungalow, like, a year ago, and we were just with a bunch of friends and kind of hanging out. Like, didn't really go past that or whatever. We had a few drinks. It was fine. And then I matched with one of his best friends on Tinder, and his friend's like, oh, you know my friend Scott, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, wait, Scott. And so I, like, looked him up, and I'm like, I think I'm going to message Scott instead, and then Scott's going to be mine.
So you just blew off the guy on Tinder?
Blew off the guy on Tinder. But now he thinks he's Cupid, so he thinks he, like,
He did, kind of, but I'm glad he didn't get upset. It was like, this bitch, she matched with me, but he was cool.
Yeah, he was super cool about it, and then now he wants us to find him a girlfriend. So it's, it'll work out. We can double date, it'll be fun.
Had you been on Tinder prior to that for a while?
Oh, yeah. I've been single for like 2.5 years, and I've done the Tinder thing.
So you found the love on Tinder. It happens.
Kind of.
Just about, well, we'll see. It's been a week, but...
No, that is the love, but not exactly through Tinder. It was like a Tinder adjacent.
You're right, Tinder adjacent, but still, it all counts. And that's, so talk to me about your sexting. Like, what do you...
What am I saying? What am I sending?
Yeah, give an example. Like, do you start... Like, do you remember the moment when it turned to sexting? Like, you date someone for a while, and all of a sudden they're like... Last night was hot. And then you're like, boom.
And then you're like, that's like,
I want your dick in my mouth. No, I don't know. What do you do?
I just think the funniest thing is usually when I'm sexting is not when I'm like in my bed, like masturbating or something.
I'm like driving.
Or I'm like, I don't know, like maybe with my parents or something.
Exactly,
like,
totally. Most inappropriate
just
things.
Like eating stuff in my face like Cheetos on the couch. And I'm like, yeah, baby, I'm so hard.
Right, exactly. I'm touching myself all over the place. I'm like Windexing the mirrors, right.
Like trying to watch like Making a Murderer or something.
Exactly.
I'm like getting through this TV show, sexting,
I'm trying to get through that too. Right, so you're sexting them, and don't you think it helps because, I mean, have you found that you've been able to say things that you want over sexting that maybe you wouldn't be able to say in person?
I think it's a really good way to, especially for if you're like shy about talking about sex, like that's like a hard thing to like bring up in person because it puts you in a vulnerable space. And I think with sexting, it's like you can kind of lead into it and then sort of describe how you like things in a way that's, I think, hard in person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's because one of the top questions I get asked, like the big umbrella of the entire show is like communication. I always say communication is a lubrication. And it's because
I love that, by the way.
Thank you. Couples have such a hard time talking about sex. They just do. And it's like I'm always trying to like explain to them, like break it down, and here's how to have the conversation. But it's like it's so vulnerable when you're one-on-one, and it's so hard to be like, babe, I really, I just need some more foreplay. Like, how do you... So here, this way you can say, God, I'm thinking about you tying me up, and I think that would be really hot. And he knows, okay, I should bring, some ties, and a blindfold over.
I think it's great. I think it's such a good, healthy way to kind of like get into that space, especially if you're shy about it.
I know. I think that's awesome. Okay, so I love that you guys are doing that. So obviously the sex is good because you committed.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
Really? What makes it amazing? Like, why is it different than sex with someone else?
I think for me, I've never been like a huge fan of like casual sex. I always have to have that emotional and mental connection with somebody, or else like the physicalness, even if it's like hot, awesome sex, there's always something missing for me. I need that passion and that, not love in a sense, because I've had sex with many men that I haven't been in love with, but like,
it's like intellectual, emotional connection.
Yeah,
Safety,
you need to
trust.
You need to check off all those boxes for it to be like amazing sex. And with him, it's just like it's all encompassing, like amazing, all there. So,
God,
and that's something I honestly haven't experienced before in my entire life.
Wow,
to that extent.
And he's like attentive and knows what he's doing.
Amazing, yeah.
Oh my God, this is so good. I love it. Okay, well, first, okay, so I did a little mention of you here, but you blog. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You started the podcast.
Okay, so, my background is it's really hard to explain, like, my whole entire story very quickly. But, so when I was 22, I had kind of, like, I was blogging when I was younger, and I was blogging about going to concerts and kissing boys in bands and all this kind of stuff. And I got, like, an online following, and from that, when I was in college, I was like, I got to make myself some money to help pay myself way through college. And I made these little rubber bracelets and sold them on MySpace, and it kind of took on a life of its own. And from then, I've transformed that into like a full fashion brand.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I've seen your brand. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So where do people find that on your website?
It's jacvanek.com.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you started with fashion and branding. So, and then you blogging and podcasting now.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
So, Kelty Knight and Becca Tobin are the other two girls that are on the podcast with me. And they came up with this idea about a celebrity-driven podcast that's kind of like focused around our mimosa brunches and just like having like fun, honest girl talk and bringing different celebrities in to, have this really candid, fun conversation. And, we're drinking mimosas when we're here, and we're just like, it's super fun, it's super friendly, and it's just like a really safe space. And
who have you had on? Like, who's your favorite guest so far?
We had Leah Michelle on this past week, so she's been like amazing, and we just had such.
What'd she reveal? Anything good?
She just, I think that people just saw a different side of her because she's such a perfect being, and I think a lot of people see her that way. And she was just having such a blast, and her and Becca are really good friends, so it made it super comfortable for her to really kind of like let her hair down and just have a good time and just be super honest. And like she was hanging out with her girlfriends, so I think it's different than like any other interview that you're gonna get.
And then you guys are they single or
the other girls?
Yeah.
So Kelty's married, and then Becca is in a relationship. So I thought I was gonna be. I'm
You're
like,
like,
I'm the
single
single
girl.
one.
Right.
I'm gonna have all my stories, which I still do, and I'm like, I could recycle horrible dating stories till the day I die.
Right.
But it was funny because I'm like, I'm gonna be the single girl. I've always been like the single girl.
Right.
So
Right. Me too. But this is great. But now you met this guy. But what are some of your dating stories? So you were on Tinder for how long?
for like 2 years.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And nobody was a commitment. Like, you didn't commit to anybody.
Yeah, no, I've been like quite single.
And how many Tinder dates would you say?
That I've been on, like different guys. I probably met like 20 guys on Tinder.
Wow. And you go on dates. So how does it, so you must be like, you could teach like a Tinder class. Because people probably.
I could teach a Tinder 101.
Yeah, so tell me, what would you suggest for women first? Let's start with that. Start with profile or.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more so it's like you gotta be picky because it's like there's a bajillion guys on there. Every guy is gonna be like, oh, so like, can I take you out? And like after talking to him for like 2 minutes. So for me, it's like I need to get to know somebody enough to where I feel comfortable going out with them, or else it's.
But
like,
how do you do that chatting on the app? Are you like, call me? No, you're doing.
I think a good call before you.
I
meet them
agree,
is
but
good.
everyone's always like, I feel like I don't want to talk on the phone, but I'm the same way. I want to hear you and see if you can like put sentences together and
exactly, yeah, like how you carry yourself. Well, and that's the thing. It's like somebody can seem, and I went out with he was a comedy writer, and I'm like, oh my god, he seems so fun, and like he's so hilarious. When
He'll be funny all the time.
And then I met him, and he was kind of. He wasn't boring or anything, but he just wasn't as funny as he seemed when we were like kind of like chatting on text.
I know. Isn't that a bummer when
Yeah.
you give good text, but you can't give good in person?
I know. So that's why the phone call's good. And then also, like, for me, I have this really weird thing about, like, high voices on a man. I'm like, I want a low, deep voice.
Right, like a baritone, like you know what you like.
Yeah.
Right.
So, gotta check that off. Make sure they have, like, a nice, deep, manly voice.
I agree. I did Tinder for like a very brief period, for like a few months, and then my first Tinder date was live on my podcast. I never met him. Yeah, and my co-host like brought him in, and we had like, it was a really good
that's
date.
So fun.
I know, it was actually really fun, and so I was on Tinder maybe for like 2 months, and it got very overwhelming because you do match, and I hear that guys just like swipe on every, or like select every girl.
They'll select every, and then they'll like copy
See if
paste
they
the
match
same
it.
message.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
And then after a while, I was like, wait, who is this guy? Which one? And it's like, you need like a spreadsheet. I got overwhelmed by it. But yeah, I had like a few.
like an Excel sheet.
Really, but then my
Mark.
friend and I are like same age range, same, and then we would go out and we'd have like the same dates that weekend, with like the same guys, like between 3 of my girlfriends. And it's like the same guys creeping around, but it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't meet. Well, I met one guy. He was okay. I didn't go out with him again. Did I? No, I did go out with him again.
This guy, the one that came here,
Tinder. Oh yeah, but then I didn't really like him. This was like over a year. I mean, I liked him, but not enough. So what do guys do? How does a guy, you're an attractive woman, I'm sure you match with hundreds of guys.
Yeah.
How does a guy get through that? Like, it wasn't really about the message then? Was it more like the phone call, or was there ever a message or something that a guy did that you're like, wow? Or a picture or something that like...
Okay, for me, because I had been on Tinder for a while, and, you know, I was kind of, like, used to that way. You know, I'd meet some guys in person, too, but it's like I'm kind of used to how that works. There is, like, a chemistry that I think you can have even through text message that you can kind of be like, okay, I think I'm going to get along with this person. You learn enough about them. You stalk them on Instagram. You know, you do the thing.
Do the whole stalking thing.
You do the whole thing. And then you're like, okay, based on my findings, I think this person could be okay to meet. So it's kind of just like keep narrowing it down.
We're all checking out each other's, like, is your, like, I mean, yours is probably like your Instagram, but like a lot of people keep it private too, which I think is so annoying.
I know. I'm like, I'm trying, and then they'll put it on their Tinder, and I'm like, I'm trying to stalk, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it on there if I can't see it?
You're not gonna request it. I know. I don't understand why anyone should be private. Like, let's just open it up to the world.
It's Instagram.
Why is yours private? Madison, give me a look.
Yeah, mine is private because
yours
people
has to be
find
private?
me from you and then go
I don't blame you.
and comment inappropriate stuff on pictures of me and my mom,
You
and
should
I'm
be
like,
private.
I can't do this.
You should be private. If you work for me,
So
you should
anyways,
be
that
private.
dildo.
They're like, Madison, great show talking about your G-spot. I loved it. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, I know, and I have really... Oh, no, the worst thing, I posted a picture of my dad in, like, memory of my dad, and someone commented and was like, R.I.P. Mike. I have never mentioned his name on Instagram ever. I did never mention it anywhere. I have no idea how he knew. And it's like one of those Instagrams that does like memes only. It's not like there's no information about them. I have no idea who the fuck this person is.
Wow.
And they're like, R.I.P. Mike. And I was like, sent it to my boyfriend. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Everyone should block your Instagrams. Everyone. Okay, I'm wrong. Sorry, that was a
Private.
mistake.
So nobody have public Instagram and Facebook.
Exactly. Okay, so I take that back. Strike that for the record. Okay, so how do you, though, you're very busy, you have your own fashion line.
Yeah.
How do you, like, make time for all that? Like, dating and life and work?
I feel like you have to. You know, it's like we're all busy, but it's like you're not going to find somebody by not going out and not putting yourself out there. And dating fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate dating. I hate telling people about myself. It's the most annoying. Like, it makes me all hot and red, and like I get nervous about trying to be like, so tell me about yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's like,
give me a summary of your life. I'm like, I don't want to because it feels forced and like, oh, it
yeah,
sucks.
and you probably already Googled me and know everything anyway.
You know, just read my bio on my website. It's fine.
Exactly. And they all, like, probably listen to my podcast, but they always say they don't, and then they do. They, like,
Exactly.
say something that, he's like, they'll say something, and I'll be like, there's no way you would have known that if you had not. They're like, I didn't Google you, or I didn't. And I'm like, you never would have known a thing about what you just said, so you're lying. So, yeah, but it is a pain in the ass.
But it's like you have to put yourself out there. You have to. And then it's good for, I mean, I feel like I've learned so much about myself by doing that.
Like what?
When I first started, like when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, I'd never been on a real date before because I was 24, I was young, you know. And I was terrified to go on a date, so I didn't go on one for like 6 months. But once I finally did, I'm like, okay, this isn't bad, you know, whatever. And then the more dates I went on, I felt way more comfortable with myself. I felt, you know, way more comfortable talking about myself, where I never really liked doing that before. I really found what I was looking for in different guys because I dated so damn many that I'm like, okay, I like this from you, I like this about you, I like this about you. So now, you know, 2.5 years later, I'm like, I think I have a pretty good idea of like what I'm looking for in somebody.
I think that is such good advice. I think that people settle down way too quickly. They meet somebody and they're like, I think that the only way you're going to figure out what you want is by actually out there meeting people. So I think that is so great for men and for women. So I love two things about what you said is that it does get easier, that we all have anxiety about dating, and that it can be very stressful, but it's like a muscle. Almost.
It is.
You start to use it, you're like, oh, dating, I've got this. I know what I'm wearing, I know what I'm saying. And
it's not as scary every time.
Yeah, exactly. And then you do realize, you're like, oh, wait, this is non-negotiable. Like, he has to, I don't know, is there one thing that guys, like, it's a requirement for you?
For a deal breaker, you mean?
Or what's a deal breaker, and then like what's required? Is there, if a guy like shows up with blank, it's over? Or says blank.
Shows up under 6 feet tall.
Oh my God, that's guy's biggest nightmare.
I know.
It's the height
It's
thing.
bad. I'm not like I don't care about looks, but height. I just like feeling small.
I know,
I'm like
me too.
5'7". I'm not like a super short girl, and I wear heels all the time. So I'm like, feel like my boyfriend's 6'7". So
Oh my God, that's hot. Yeah, that's true. That's okay. So it's tall. Is there anything that they could, or you give me an example, was there ever a date where you're like, this is going well until...
Oh, well, there was this one date that many. I don't know why this one just came to mind, but there was this one date that I went on with a guy that he seemed cool, and then we went out, and then he was really shy and kind of awkward, and then he kept, like, giving these underhanded insults. I remember we were driving to the date, and he was talking about how he's, like, setting up a camper kind of thing, and... He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Do you like camping? I'm like, I love camping. That'd be so cool to go camping. He's like, oh, you seem like way too high maintenance to be, like camping. I'm like, dude, I usually look like a sack of garbage all the time. Like,
was he doing that neg thing that guys do?
He was doing the neg. Or I don't know. I mean, who knows if he actually... I mean, I think...
Or I think it's an insecurity probably. Like, she's way too cool and confident. I'm going to knock her down for a second.
Oh, he was doing it all night long. And then he talked... Oh, here's another thing. Talking about... ex-girlfriends, especially on the first date, this guy gave me his whole backstory that was so fucked up and like weird, and she had another boyfriend and this whole thing. I'm like, this is a first date.
That you are never supposed... That is such a cardinal rule that you do not talk about exes on a first date. You just don't.
Yeah.
Even if you're divorced, you just... Yeah, it ended. You know, I was married. Now I'm divorced. Like, just you want to get to know the person you're with. Oh yeah, those are major faux pas.
No ex-girlfriends, probably no politics, and probably no religion. It's just like same thing with your family. Like, just don't bring it up on a first date.
It's absolutely the things that you won't talk about at Thanksgiving dinner, like you probably shouldn't talk about at a date. No, that's a good point. No, that's really. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. So you learned and you dated, and now you met these. So what about? Okay, so it was mostly online or in person, but what about... Well, we're going to get some emails, actually, that I think you're going to be able to help me with about... I was going to ask you about meeting in person.
Okay.
But first, I want to talk about fashion and sex and dating. Because I know you've got your fashion line. You've been into fashion since you were a kid?
Well, I mean, when I was in high school, I was always, like, cutting up and resewing my clothes and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like,
I've always been, like, super funky with my fashion.
Yeah, you look adorable. I love it. But how does... So that's what I was going to ask you, though, and it's okay to be whatever, but... Is there a requirement for guys that you date about how they should dress?
No, I kind of like when guys don't have style. I think it's kind of cute.
Right.
I feel like guys that care too much about their appearance, it's like a little bit too... not narcissistic, but it's just too much. Right. I kind of like the... I look like an idiot.
Right. Yeah. Or like he's, you know, that he spent too much time getting ready than you did.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
His outfit. Right. No, I totally get that.
I like it, but I like a good style. Like I like when guys know how to dress, but then I don't mind when a guy doesn't have style. That's not
right.
Like
no, I don't either.
Yeah.
I'm the same thing. I'm like, oh, you could. My mom always says, because I remember when I was like 22, my boyfriend in San Francisco, I remember calling my mom like, Mom, he's wearing shorts, because no one wears San Francisco. It's like freezing, and you just don't. I remember he was wearing like shorts and these really bad shoes. I'm like, Mom, I hate his shoes. He's like, honey, she's like, Emily, you can buy him new shoes. Like, that's not a deal breaker.
Yeah, if he has bad hair, if he has bad style, whatever.
But you can change it. That is like, right, like alcoholic, no. Like, that's not a problem. Like, right, like drug addict.
Personality disorder, probably not.
Exactly. Like a narcissist, no. But shoes you can change. So are there any, like fashion trends with men that you are psyched about now that you think are kind of cool?
There's so many that I don't think are cool.
Let's talk about that. Like, that's so much better. It's so much easier.
Let's talk about that.
Because guys are like, what do you mean by that trend? So what kind of is not working, you think, for men?
What I hate is the undercut haircut. You know what I'm talking about? Like the long on the top and then like the shave on the side with the beard. Like the ultimate hipster sort of like...
Yep. Ugh. I know what you would kind of slick so it's longer on the top.
Slicked like with like some kind of like a gel and then just like the short on the back. And then with the beard, I'm like, no.
Right. It's too many accessories. It's kind of like if you're wearing like leopard jacket and then you're also wearing like fringe boots. I'm wearing fringe boots now, and my first jacket was this leopard. I'm like, that's way too much. Like, you can't overdo it.
Do one or the other.
No, you gotta pick one.
The undercut, never. And also, I'm not really a fan of beards.
Not really a fan of beards. Okay. Anything? What about fashion-wise? That was anything? I mean, I guess it's so hard with guys. They've got like shirts, tops, shoes.
Yeah, it's like your pants. I don't know. I'm trying to think though. I'm sure there's something. I don't know.
I know. These days, it's almost like anything goes. Like, what about? Okay, so what about for women? Like, what's a good? Do you have like a go-to first date outfit?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a crop top connoisseur. So even in the dead of winter, I'm wearing crop tops all the time. I just don't. Except this is the only.
I know
sweater.
you're wearing a big sweater, a baggy sweater. She's wearing a crop top underneath it. That's awesome.
I don't know what something with my body. I'm like, I just feel like I look best in crop tops because I have like a small waist and.
Oh my God, yeah, sexy. I love that. I think like no woman has ever said those words ever. No, I'm kidding. Maybe, but I wear that's awesome because I'm sure guys. Do you wear a crop top on the date? They must like go berserk.
Crop tops literally every day of my life. But I remember my summer first date outfit, which I wore for probably 5 first dates in a row, was thigh-high boots, these little floral shorts, and an off-the-shoulder crop top, long sleeve.
That's so cute.
It was cute.
The guys love the thigh-high boots.
I know.
They go insane.
They love them.
They almost are like, I don't need them to see your face. Like, they're like her boots.
It's 100%. I learned that. So now I bought like 4 more pairs.
Yeah, I just bought some too. What kind did you buy? Like black, brown, all different height, heels, no heels?
They're like kind of, like a 2-inch, and I have black leather, gray leather, and brown suede.
Oh, I want, there's these Jimmy Choo ones that I'm obsessed with. Have you seen them?
No.
I'll show you after but they're like crazy. But I don't have those yet, but I did just buy a pair too. And I was wearing them. My guy was like, I'm dating someone too, which is really weird for me.
I listen to your podcast. I know.
Oh, you do?
Ross is his name?
Ross.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I heard you talking way too much about him the other podcast.
I did talk about him way too much a few weeks ago, right? With Anderson, you were like, someone said, God, you talked about Ross a lot.
Mm-hmm. Wait. So he's a doctor?
He's a doctor
/
musician.
Is he a / musician?
No, he's a
doctor that...
No, but he doesn't like dabble in music. He actually... Okay, so he went to... After college, his college was like the college... He went to UCLA. It was like the best college band of the year or whatever.
I went to UCLA too.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
We can talk about that. I don't know how old you are.
I'm 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older than that.
Okay.
But yeah, he was
okay,
so funny.
You
would know. But maybe. I don't know. But then after that, they like signed with, Periscope Records. They had a big band for like years, for like 8 years.
What was the band called?
Oh, God. Pseudopod?
Pseudopod. What kind of music is that?
His music now, yeah.
Uh-oh.
So no, but then he did that for a long time. He plays guitar. He's an amazing like guitarist. And then he was like, but and his dad's a doctor. I think he was like, I'm just gonna, it's cute in your 20s. Like he's doing well, but he was like, I also want to be a doctor. So now he is a full-on doctor.
I want to be a doctor.
He's thinking I don't know if he always knew, but he went back to school, became a doctor. But he's still, so he's full-on a doctor. But he also like has an album coming out, plays with bands all the time.
That's so cool. That's the best of both worlds.
I know.
Really. Because you got the creativeness, and then you've got like a fucking awesome job.
I know, right? Like a real, it's
real,
like secure, right?
Real
and if I'm
job.
like sick, he can like help. Except for once when he didn't, which I never let him live it down.
Well, that's rude.
No, I know. We just started dating. I were like, I'd been a few months in, but we weren't committed. And I called him, and I was like, I think I've got like this throat thing, and he's like, you sound really contagious. Like I just don't think I can. I'm like, you're a doctor. What's the point of dating?
Put your doctor mask on, dude.
I'm like, get over here. Like, what is the point of dating if you're contagious? You work in the goddamn hospital. Everyone's contagious.
Yeah,
so it's like a funny fight we have now. But yeah, it is best. It's good. So, but now why was I even talking about that? Dating someone.
Damn, I'm talking about Ross again.
No, I know. I try not to talk to him.
You're talking about being in a new relationship and something he was saying about fashion, or you were like,
the boots.
Oh.
Love the boots.
Oh, yeah, there you
Freaked
go.
out about the boots. He's like, those boots. I'm like, yeah, I got to get more pairs.
I know.
They're awesome.
Like
They're
a million
sexy.
pairs. 365 pairs.
I know, right? Every day with the crop top. Mm-hmm. But then you have to do a long sleeve crop top if you do the boot. Because the thigh-high boots, can't you not wear... Like you should.
Yeah, I do no sleeve
you can
crop
do it all.
top. Yeah.
Okay, got it. I want more crop tops too. I want to go shopping. Okay, so can we talk about sex for a second though?
Yeah.
What's your but when we come back, we're gonna hear all about Jac's sex life.
Oh yeah.
I have to just give a shout out to my friggin' killer sponsors who I love, and they help keep the show free so you can all listen. Okay, guys. Are you looking for a way to mix up your masturbation routine? Well, let me tell you about the #1 sex toy for men, and really the only one you want. The Fleshlight is a masturbation sleeve that you can use solo or with a partner that simulates the sensations of real sex and was engineered to look and feel like the real deal. Between the Fleshlight Stamina Training Unit, which helps you practice lasting longer during sex, the sleek and discreet Flight, which is a little bit lighter, and the Fleshlight Go, the more compact on-the-go model, there's a Fleshlight for every single man's needs. Oh, and now, new addition to the Fleshlight family, the Quick Shot. It's an open-ended male masturbator, around the size of your hand, geared towards a new kind of self-pleasure. It has the same patented material, which feels like a vagina. Let's just break it down. And it can be used solo or with a partner to take hand jobs and blow jobs to the next level. It's like your handy hand job helper. It's amazing. Get your partner involved in the fun. Every woman has a dildo or vibrator, and every man should have one of these. So go to sexwithemily.com, click on the fleshlight banner, use code Emily, and you get a free bottle of their award-winning Flesh Lube. Okay, Jac, let's tell people, because they're already loving you and want to see you in crop tops, where can they find you the best way? Like your social media is, so it's at Jac, J-A-C, you can spell it out.
It's at Jac Vanek, Jacvanek on Instagram and Twitter. And our podcast is at Fempire Podcast on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, got it. And then Jac Vanek is your website.com.
Yes.
Okay.
So easy. And repetitive. I'm like, Jac. No,
but that's good when you're consistent, because I'm Sex with Emily across the board. If some people are like love at, or sex W, I'm like, that'd be such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no.
But we just nailed it across the board.
Yes.
We've been doing it long enough that we got all the things that we needed.
Yeah, we know.
We got the
Yeah, nobody else is
in the
getting
know.
it. Yeah,
we got it. No one's going to be Sex with Emily. Fuck you. Okay. Can we talk about sex for a minute, though?
Sure. Wait. Before we talk about sex, well, this is also about
ask me
sex.
what?
I just want to. You don't have any of those fleshlights with you, do you?
Not. I have one in my car.
Maybe.
I know. Do you want one?
I just want to. I've never seen one before. I've only seen one online. I'm like, what's it about?
So it's okay. So it looks like a flashlight actually. So but you open it up and it's got this like fleshy top to it. The whole thing, and men can stick their penis inside of it.
Yeah.
And you put some lube in, and it actually they use it to masturbate, and it feels like you're having sex. Some guys say it's like better than sex. They have amazing orgasms, and you come in it, and then you just wash it out, it rinses out, and it's pretty amazing. And then the quick shot is so cool. Madison actually wrote an awesome blog on our website that you can check out, because she hates giving hand jobs. And
yeah, I need that one.
Yeah, no. It's,
I wish we had one for you. We can get you one.
This is a fleshlight. We put eyelashes on her. That was Tara Patrick for Halloween.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's amazing.
So the quick shot one is it fits in your hand, and it's and you could so he could use that too. It's just smaller and open ended, and then you could if you're going down with blowjob, it goes up and down his penis. So it's can be so hard. You're I'm using my hands, my mouth, my tongue.
don't know. I have it.
The quick shot looks like.
Oh, it looks like a donut.
Yeah,
Or
it's
a
looks like
crystal
Camber Lens or
donut.
something, right?
Yeah.
We'll send you. We'll give you some stuff. Where are you in that? You're in LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll bring it.
Oh my God,
We'll bring
yes,
we got
all
some
the
stuff.
goodies.
I know we've got good goodies.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta say. So that's the flesh. Do you ever use toys?
Yes, I do.
What do you like?
I have lots of toys.
Like what?
Well, I mean, for masturbating, favorite always is the magic wand.
Yeah,
I mean,
magic wand.
there's no competition
I know.
ever.
It's true. Do you know that it's rechargeable now?
Wait, I only have the one that you can plug into the wall, and then it's this whole huge process. I'm like, dude, okay.
Oh, dude, we have to get our magic wand. If you
Rechargeable,
would,
yeah.
it's now rechargeable, unplugged in 2015. So you just charge it for a few hours.
And it works just as well.
Better.
Oh my god.
Am I
It's
better?
got multiple settings.
It's got multiple settings. It's not just on and off. It's not like high. It's like
I have to put a pillow over me. I'm like, I think that my neighbors can hear it.
for sure, right? You wake them up. They're like, is it Super Nino? No, Jac's just masturbating again. It is quieter. It has two different speeds, up and down. We'll get you
Oh
one.
my god, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, I know. It's really exciting. It's because then it's also I in San Francisco where I lived before. I moved here 3 years ago, but it was plugged into. I had drilled a hole in the back of my nightstand. So it could be always be plugged into the wall.
Just in case.
Just in case
Yeah.
you wanted, because I hated the cord and the thing.
And then
but
now I'm too tired.
it's
to
like
fucking
sleeker and
masturbate.
slim.
Yeah.
It'll if you love it. Okay, this is good. So this makes me so happy. It's like, oh, you love it, so try this one now. Okay,
Yay.
so you use
You're
that.
like
Do you ever use it
Santa.
with partners?
Not that, because it's so loud
I know.
and abrasive. But I did. Okay, this is really funny. This weekend, after one of the nights that we went out, I had taken an Ambien, and that was
Ambien sex.
And
No.
we didn't have Ambien sex,
Oh.
but I was like telling him about the magic wand, and I'm like, but it's really a massager, so I must have gotten it out that night. I black out when I'm on Ambien, so I must have gotten it out, and I was giving him a back massage with it, because the next morning it woke up on the ground. I'm like, we didn't do anything sexual last night, so it's just sitting there.
That's so funny. It is a massage. And I've actually, when I had really bad back pain in December, I was in the office walking around using it. Yeah, it's true.
That's what it was made for, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was made for that. And they're like, oh, someone was like,
wait a
I think I'll put
second.
that. It's going to massage my clitoris. That feels really good. So what do you, when you think about hot sex, you're like, oh, that was the hottest sex. What do you think that means? How would you describe it?
Oh, I mean, I have to go back to the whole emotional, mental, everything connection. I've had fun, rough sex, kinky sort of whatever, but at the end of the day, it's like, for me, it's always about that connection, because I can even tell when, like, physically, like, how wet I'm getting with a guy.
Right.
If I'm not in it, like, mentally or emotionally or whatever, it's like, you can tell.
Right. It's
Or
true.
I
Your
can
body,
tell. I don't
right?
know if I can
Exactly.
tell, but I'm just like, okay.
How about foreplay? Do you feel like you need foreplay? Do you require that?
I don't require it, but it's nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
I love it.
It's not bad.
I'm not going to say no.
Right. You wouldn't
And be like, oh, no, can you get your head out of there? No, thank
Exactly.
you.
No, right, exactly. I feel the same. Okay, let's get into an email.
Yes.
I'd love your help. Thank you, everyone, for emailing me feedback@sexwithemily.com, and for also including your name, where you live, how old you are, and how you listen to the show. Like, do you use an app? Do you use Podcast One? Okay. Dear Emily, hi. So I just want to start off by saying that I love listening to your show on Spotify. I recently got into listening to podcasts, and your show is on my top 3 to listen to during my workday. I wonder if that makes him more productive or not. Anyways, I recently started noticing this really cute guy in my apartment complex. I see him when I'm walking my dog or when I'm throwing out the trash. I've even seen him at my local Target, but I've yet to start the conversation with him. I'm not usually shy, but there's something about this guy that makes me so nervous. I really want to get to know him, but I don't want to wait until I run into him again. It's getting to a point where I want to stick my number in his door so he can text me and we can start up a friendly conversation. I guess because it's the start of a new year that I just want to take life by the horns and do it, but I don't want to look like a creep or weird. Help, I need your advice. Thank you, female 23 Miami.
Oh, that's a cute question.
I know,
like that.
right? I thought you'd be able to help. I mean, I don't know. I don't think she should leave him a note, though.
I mean, that's a little bit much.
You kind of seem like creepy stalky.
Yeah. I feel like,
What would you do?
It's going to depend with the vibe. I mean, if she feels like there's a good vibe when they've been, like, kind of encountering each other, then maybe you should. I mean, I think that you should do anything that you think that you should do, because it's like, we're.
Yeah, you're right. There's no rules,
Yeah,
right?
life is short. Like, fucking go, leave your note under the door, maybe,
Yeah,
I guess. But
totally.
you might not get a response yet, and then it might be the most awkward thing in the world when you run into him a million times because he's in your apartment complex.
Right. And then he might have a girlfriend, and then then he's like, oh, that girl, I'm not gonna do laundry now because she's there.
I think what I would do personally.
Yeah, what would you do? I want to know what Jac would do. What would Jac do?
I would somehow find out his name, do a little stalking.
When the mailman comes. Right.
Yeah. Find out his name, maybe see if he has a girlfriend, and then sort of, slowly kind of infiltrate that way. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I guess you could. What about just if she sees him, just be like, hey, yeah, so how long have you lived here? Did you just move in, or
Can I go in your apartment? You want to have sex right now?
Exactly. Should we, can I show you my magic wand?
Yeah.
I'm having electricity problem. So, like, I feel like if you're your neighbor, you can just like, hey, yeah, I think I've seen you. Did you just move in, or I've seen you around here? I guess I see you around sounds so cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe try to start up like more of a conversation than just saying hi, and then see kind of where it goes from there.
Or how about, how do you like living here?
Yeah.
Because probably if you've seen him, here's the thing: if you've seen him, he's probably seen you.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta hope so.
You hope so, right?
Yeah,
He's like,
or else the number thing's gonna be really creepy.
Exactly. Like, who? I have a neighbor. There's women here. Maybe he's gay. But you could just say, how do you like living here? Or, God, have you heard from the landlord lately? He keeps, hitting me up for the electric bill, and I've already paid. I mean, something that you guys would have in common.
In common, yeah.
Strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
And it's important she says she gets nervous around him. So no matter what you can do, if you take a few deep breaths, you got to be confident.
You got to be confident.
Just like fake it to him, and just like be confident, take a few deep breaths, look him in the eye.
We're all terrified, dude.
We're all nervous.
We're all nervous.
Exactly.
Every single one of us. So just act like you're not, and everybody will believe you.
Exactly. It's true.
Yeah.
The fake it till you make it or whatever.
It's
I mean,
true.
just be like, pretend it's like your girlfriend neighbor that you're like, oh, she seems cool. I want a new friend.
Yeah.
How would you talk to her?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what you should
And
do.
then keep it casual. Don't get too creepy, because especially if you live in the same apartment complex, that's gonna be weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same apartment complex, like in the office, like apartment you can't never escape.
Yeah.
I think that's true. That's good advice. I appreciate it. I think that's all we have time for,
Yeah.
which makes me really sad. I love talking to you. You're so awesome.
You're gonna have to come on our podcast.
I would
now.
love that.
It'll be so fun.
I love swapping podcasts.
Yes.
Congratulations, though, on your new podcast, Fempire.
Yes.
And they could find it on iTunes,
Yep.
or Podcast One app,
Yep.
and on all of your social media, which we'll also have on our website, Jac Vanek, across the board.
Yes.
Anything else coming up for you guys that you need to talk about?
We're just trying to take over 2016, man.
Nice. Well, congrats. Welcome to podcasting.
Thank you.
I think it's awesome. I think you're great, and we're going to go shopping. I love that.
Crop
and
tops.
thank you for listening. And thank you, Madison. You rock. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Alyssa. And what else? Anything else I have to say to the world, to the people?
No, see you at the Sexual Health Expo.
Oh,
y'all.
I'll see you guys this weekend. Hello, who's coming? Live show, be on the show. It's going to be fun. Okay, sexualhealthexpo.com. Thanks everyone for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. Thanks everyone for listening to the show and for supporting our sponsors who help keep the show free. So let me tell you about the Intensity by Pour Moi. It's a revolutionary product that has become one of my personal go-tos that I use every day. It's a revolutionary intimate health and stimulation device. It takes all the confusion out of Kegel exercises. Now, it may resemble the classic rabbit vibrator, but let me be clear, it's not an ordinary sex toy. You all know how I feel about Kegels, and this remarkable product exercises your Kegel muscles for you, okay? So you don't even have to do them. You lie back, you put it inside you, it has gentle electrostimulation, and you just enjoy the sensation. It trains your body to have the best orgasms of your life, plus it keeps you tighter down there. And your pelvic floor, it's so important to strengthen it no matter how old you are. And as you get older, it definitely atrophies over time. Like when you sneeze and you pee, or you jump on the trampoline and you pee and all that stuff. It's not fun. And if you also want stronger orgasms, do your Kegel exercises. And this one does it for you. So check out the Intensity at pourmoi.com. That's pourmoi.com. Or just go to sexwithemily.com and click on our website. Thanks for listening.